In this video we're going to tie a little fly called the BLM Nymph, or the Beaded Little Mayfly. That's what BLM stands for. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start some thread on the hook, and we're going to add a bead to the front of the fly. We're just going to slide it on and slide it all the way to the front of the fly. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tie in our tail. And I'm just going to use some Peacock green ice dub shimmer fringe. You can also use angel hair. Both the materials are very, very similar. I'm going to tie this in right on top of the shank of the hook. I can trim out the excess, and then I can trim my tail. I want my tail to be about the same length as the shank of the hook. And I'm going to take a piece of small copper wire. I'm going to tie this in right along the side of the shank. I'm going to take this all the way back to the bend, and I'll spiral my thread forward. Now we're going to tie in some more of that ice dub shimmer fringe. This will be for the body. So I just take another clump, and I'm just going to tie this in right along the side of the shank as well. Then I'm going to build up a slight taper to the body. I want it to taper forward towards the bead just slightly. Once I have that taper built, I'm just going to take that ice dub shimmer fringe, and I'm just going to wrap it around the body. All the way up towards the bead of the fly. And then I can capture it. If you get a few straggly fibers, don't worry about it. You can just trim those out of there. Then I'm going to take my wire here, and I'm going to counter wrap it. I'm just going to wrap it the opposite way that I wrapped that ice dub shimmer fringe. Then I can capture it. This is pretty slippery material, so you really have to pull your wire and let it dig into the material. Now the next thing to do is to take more ice dub shimmer fringe. We're going to tie in a casing and also the legs. So I'm going to take a clump of about 20 or so fibers. I'm going to tie these in right on top of the shank of the hook. Some guys will use one piece for the casing and the legs and the body and the tail all at once, but I usually split it up. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bead, we're going to push it back slightly so I have just a little bit of space right up by the eye of the hook, and I just jump the bead with my thread. Then we're going to pull our ice dub shimmer fringe right over the top, and we're going to split the ice dub shimmer fringe into two equal clumps, and then lash them each down on the side of the shank of the hook facing back. And this fly, I like to tie it more sparse rather than bulky. You have to be careful that you don't use too much of that ice dub shimmer fringe. Once you have those tied in and swooping back, you can carefully and quickly whip finish. I'll usually kind of pull everything back out of the way with my fingers as I'm whip finishing. And you can trim out your thread. Now you need to trim all your legs. And to do this, I usually pull them all together. And you want to trim them about half of the length of the body. Just like so. Great little fly. It doesn't look like much, looks kind of busy, kind of gaudy out of the water, but it does fish very, very well. I like to use it in the spring a lot as well, when the water's a little bit off color. The last thing you can do, just to add a little bit of durability to the fly, is I'll take a little bit of brush on Zap-A-Gap and I'll coat the top of the fly and also the head. That'll kind of lock the bead in place and keep all that iced up shimmer fringe on the top of the fly from coming undone. Some guys will even glue the entire body. You can do that as well, but that wire, if you counter wrap it, will help it really stay together when you're fishing it. So you can find all the materials for this fly on our website, intheriffle.com. If you're watching this via YouTube, there's a link below the video in the description that you can follow to our website. There you can find the entire recipe as well as the materials to tie the fly. That is the BLM Mayfly.